Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Chatting with You. I'm Giselle.
I'm Norma.
I'm Ana Denise.
And we're so happy to be here with you one more time. Today's topic is going to be about our stories on, our families and our own personal stories on how we came to the United States. You usually hear, stories, and some of them are really sad. Some of them are really, happy ending stories. But I feel like we wanted to share our own personal stories with you guys because we all have different ones and we can all learn from them. So I wanted to start with Norma sharing a little bit of your family story and how you came here. What was your experience like?
Okay. So I am born and raised in Georgia, but I do come from immigrant parents. So both of my parents are from Mexico. And they did come in here as probably majority of other Hispanics do, which is through the border illegally. I think that is a big struggle because as me, my first language is obviously Spanish. So, I have older brothers, but same thing with them. They didn't speak English. They spoke Spanish. So I feel like my struggles were a lot with the language barrier when it came to school. I had to learn how to speak English, how to write in English. At home, you're self-taught. So I think that was my biggest struggle growing up, which thank God I'm like fluent in both languages now. So that's a good, that's the good part about it because I'm bilingual. Not a lot of people are bilingual. So that's actually, it turned from a negative to a positive. So that's good. I think as far as struggles is like, I think being raised in a household where it's like, you see a lot of struggles. My parents don't have any family members here. So I know that they had to leave their home country. They've been here for over 22 years now. Without seeing their parents, without seeing their brothers or sisters. And it's like, that's hard because you miss them. So that's also another struggle that it's like birthdays, Christmas, holidays, and it's like they're alone. All they have is you. So that's a big struggle as well. So I think, that's probably the way that I see it in my household. It's like you see that your parents struggle. You see that they come and it's not like they come and they have a great job and they're working in an office where there's AC. It's like, it's not. My dad has been a construction worker since he's been here. I see the struggle he goes through, waking up at 4 or 5 in the morning every day, having to go and work in weather conditions, whether it's really cold or really hot, and it's like he doesn't have an option. So I think that's also a big struggle. And that's probably something that I also turn negative to positive and use as a motivator for myself to say, I have someone that I need to be good for and I need to do this because I need to help, So, that's like I said, I think that it's good to turn the negative into a positive. So as far as that, yes, I look at it that way. So
I like that. That's really nice.
It's a big struggle that I think we can, or a lot of majority of Hispanics or immigrant that come from immigrant families can relate. It's not easy getting here. You hear all crazy kinds of crazy stories, like how people have to go through the desert and have to be there 4, 5, 6 days, and people get lost, and people don't even hear about the family members ever again because they get lost and things like that. And I don't know. I think it's just a big struggle to try and chase that American dream that a lot of people want.
But it's really good what you're saying, that you're turning something negative
into positive.
Like I've never heard you complain.
Oh yeah, I know.
About like the struggles that your family have gone through or still like
go through. Yeah, which
through.
is true because not even that is not just that. I come from a parent who is sick. So my mom was diagnosed with kidney failure when I'm not even sure how old I was, but I was very young. So that's all I've known all my life. Like she's been on dialysis for 18 years now. So that's also a big struggle because I've had to be the one to go to her doctor's appointments.
Drive since she's
because she can't drive. Translate, take care of her paperwork, the surgeries, making sure that she understands what's going on. I understand what's going on, making sure my dad knows what's going on. So it is a lot. So, like I said, I never complain about my situation. I always look at it and I say, you know what? It is what it is. And I woke up today and that's good for me. And keep on going, being positive. Whatever gets thrown at me, I take it and I make it good and I keep it going. And you just get stronger from that. So you learn.
Yeah. So, and you become a better person.
Yeah, you do.
And you become an example.
Yeah.
for other people to follow.
Yeah.
Some people complain so much about the
littlest
smallest things. But
That's
you know,
true.
you never know what somebody's going through.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
You have a
never
smile
know.
every day. You do your work. You're so, you know, like you would never think that you have gone through so much at such
a young age,
right?
Yeah.
So I mean, usually, like, I'm gonna ask you this question: why did your parents decided to come? Because many people, you know,
like they just kind of, there's a reason. There's usually always a reason why they decide to leave. In my situation, it was that my mom was having a couple of issues as far as her health, and then we did decide to come here because obviously the living down there is not good, as far as health wise. Like, you have everything's out of pocket. Like, if you can't afford it, then that's on you. So my dad said, you know what, we have to go. We left and we got here, and that's when she got diagnosed and started her treatment. Well, a couple of years later, she was being tested and things like that. So that was a big factor as to why we are here. But at the same time, I'm like, thank God we are here, because who would have known what would have happened with her as far as health wise.
You guys were still in Mexico.
There. Yeah, because honestly, like, it's either you have the money, you pay for
There's
it, you're
no
living,
payment plans,
nothing.
and if you don't have money in Mexico to see a doctor,
that's it. And it's happened. Like, I've had family members that have passed away due to the fact that they don't have money to go to a doctor, you know. And it's like, that was a big factor as to why my parents decided to come here.
Wow. And look, you know, even though you've had your struggles and, you know, it hasn't been easy
At all.
look where you are.
Yeah.
Like,
I always say, you know, I look back and I'm like, I'm not where I was a year ago. I'm not where I was 2 years ago. I'm doing a lot better. And I strive for so much more, you know, because I know that I have that potential to be there and be more, you know, and more because I have them. And it's like, I look back and I'm like, they did so much for me. Why can't I do so much more for them, you know? And more because I know that they depend on me, you know. I'm like that little piece of hope for them. So
that's right.
Yeah.
And like we said before, some people just complain
they
about
do.
their situation instead of seeing it, okay, well, I'm alive. I woke up today. Let me see how I can do something like about my situation to improve it. Like,
exactly.
Which, the way you're seeing it.
Yeah, because I feel like in my story, it's like I had to learn to mature at a very young age, which now I look back at it and I'm like, actually, I feel like I'm very thankful for that, because all of the struggles that I've been through have taught me to be better and to be more mature. And I'm like, I've learned so much at such a young age that now I'm like, I feel like I have a lot more experience and I can give more and better advice to other people. And yeah, so I mean, I don't complain about it. I take it. They say that God only gives, you know, his toughest soldiers those battles. And I'm like, I'm taking it and I'm going to be good at it and keep it going. So
you're amazing. You're
Thank
amazing.
you.
And thank you for sharing that story.
Yeah.
I know it's not easy. You know,
it's not, but I've learned, and that's a big part of my mom too, because she's just like that too. She's like, she's always, I have never seen her complain about her dialysis treatment. She walks in with a smile, she gets out with a smile, even when she feels horrible. And I've seen, and she's been through the worst, and it's like, she always takes it so positive. She's always like, you know, whatever it is, I'm going to go through it and I'm going to take it. And I've gone up to this much and I can do more. So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
What about you, Anna? Can you share with us?
Well, after she's like, well,
No,
I'm not
we
so
all
sure
have, you know, it's interesting.
No, well,
Trust
my
me.
mom came to the United States about like 30 years ago, but she did have to cross through the desert for about 3 days, 5 days, just water, running, you know, and you don't know if you're going to make it to the other side alive. And it's so dangerous. There's people that are just watching, like Norma said, to kidnap you, or especially as a woman. Now that I think of it, I don't think if I was to be born in Mexico, I don't know if I would be able to cross. It's just scary, and everyone's experience is different. But even with women, they get, you know, molested, raped, and it's just so scary. And for my mom to do that, and she came from Mexico to, you know, for a better life for herself. She didn't have me yet. She did have my sister, and my sister too, she struggled to come to the United States, so we had to wait for that petition. But Now, thankfully, my mom is a permanent resident, but still when we were young, she was not. And I always had to translate at school, doctor's appointments. She would always tell, what is he saying? Or any documents, the bills,
And
any document that
struggle.
came in, I had to translate and know what it had to say. My mom,
Even
wants to make a doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
And there's words that I didn't even understand or know.
Yeah, you kind of just went with the flow and had to assume.
Yeah. And she didn't have a driver's license. So she had to walk about 3 miles or more every day to her job.
Yeah.
And she worked in like sewing clothes, which in Spanish is like en la costura, and earning like $250 a week. And with that, she fed us.
She had to make it work.
Yeah, she had to make it work for us. So now that I'm older, like, I appreciate every little thing that she did for us. We didn't have the best clothes, but there was always food on the table. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that's good.
And I mean, she taught you all your morals, like you're a good person, and you know how to treat other people. Like, I feel like that's something that we learn
and I'm
from
so
them.
thankful for her, because if it wasn't for her, for her to, or my dad to have came to the United States, I wouldn't be born here, and I wouldn't have, health insurance or have that struggle that so many other people are having right now, trying to have a better life and crossing the border. Going through that struggle, and I just thank her for that, because I'm able to buy a house, I have my Social Security, and able to drive. Just even able to drive
is a big.
You don't have to be paying for a taxi, asking other people for rides. It's a big struggle.
Yeah.
So now I'm thankful to be able to help her now.
That's amazing. And I feel like now that I am a mom, I'm like, being a parent is hard. So imagine, like, I cannot complain, because I have everything. I have help. I have the resources to give my girls anything they might need. But imagine, like, hearing your story, your moms not only, fed you and make sure you were okay, make sure you had a home. They also taught you. They also taught you morals and being a good person, because what I'm going with this is that sometimes kids say, oh, well, I didn't have this, I didn't have that, that's why I'm misbehaving. And that's why I'm acting this way.
That I am.
And this is why I'm on drugs. And this is why, you guys, your mom didn't only go through all that. They also were able to,
lead you through the right path.
Really good citizens for the community, for us, And now you're helping others, working here with us. You're helping others that have gone through a similar situation.
Yeah, you could definitely relate to the clients here at Urbina Law Firm.
For sure.
Just when their work permit arrives, they're so happy, and it makes you happy to know that they're able to go get their driver's license and they're able to work. Yeah.
And not have that fear, that they had once. And it's just, I like to see those smiles when they pick up their work permits, to know that you were that little piece that kind of helped them. And now they can walk out of here and be a little bit more calm, do a lot more for maybe their families as far as work-wise, or even just a simple driver's license. So you do make a big impact, and I feel like you relate to it so much, because in my situation, it's I've seen my dad hit that face, and I'm like, okay, I've seen that face before. So I do like it, and I do relate to it. And same thing when it's a bad situation, when they come in here and they're all worried and anxious, they don't know what to do, and then you're like, okay, you need to calm down. I understand what's going on, because I've been through it too. So and just tell them it's gonna be okay.
And being an immigrant is just not easy from so many aspects.
Oh yeah.
The language is one thing. The way things are done here is so much different. from our countries.
Yeah,
like,
definitely the culture as well. It's like, I remember when I was like in kindergarten, like I remember they gave me like a wooden clip. I didn't know what that was. I've never seen a wooden clip before in my life. And I was like, I don't see that at home. And like my like classmate was like, oh, you just clip it on your shirt, but it turn around. I had it the wrong way. And I'm like, it's because I've never seen this before. And he looked at me, we were like, it's just a clip. You've never seen a clip. And I'm like, I haven't, not a wooden clip. And I'm like, no, I didn't. No, honestly, no. And it's like little things like that. Then you're like, I'm not used to seeing that at home. I'm not used to that. So little things like that too.
That's true. And my story is a little different, but it's still, I feel that it's, you know, it goes along those lines.
Yeah.
Well, I'm from Puerto Rico, so we didn't have to go through the whole crossing and all that because we're born citizens. However, when I moved here, I was 15. So, and I didn't speak English, and that's why I have an accent more than you and more than you, because, you know, when I came here, I was already old.
Yeah.
And imagine walking into a high school and not knowing a single word.
And not knowing
anybody's mouth, like nothing. I was so afraid. I didn't know what to do. Like in Puerto Rico, I used to go to a public school. So for example, for lunchtime, we would go out to the street, like to the shops on the actual town and eat something, come back. Here you have an actual cafeteria and you sit there. So the first day I was like, okay, where am I gonna go eat? Like I didn't even know I had to go to this cafeteria to
and eat there.
I had no idea. So it sounds so like simple, and I should have known this, but the cultures are so different.
Very much.
The food,
everything, just everything.
I mean,
honestly.
for example, like you get on ESOL, which is a class that they put you in if you don't really speak the language, and they help you through. And I'm like, I want to go to college. I want to actually get a degree. How am I going to get there if I don't speak the language? So I had to like study, but have my dictionary right next to me and translate. So to me, studying took twice.
Right, because you had to go word for word.
Because I didn't know what it meant.
Yeah.
And, you know, people were just, to be honest, a little bit...
Were you bullied?
Mean. Yeah.
I don't want to say that they discriminated against me, but to a certain point, now that I'm an adult, I'm like, I think it was borderline discrimination.
Right, along those
because
lines.
of my accent, because of anything like that. I'm just different than them. So they don't feel like I'm part of them. And you feel alone.
Yeah.
You feel really alone. And, you know, it's really, really hard when you're a teenager and you feel alone in a high school and you're struggling with...
And you hear those comments like, oh, she doesn't understand English. Like, and it's said at school.
You get those looks that it's like, why doesn't she speak English? You know what I mean? And it's like people are sometimes...
Especially at school. Yeah. Like, there's... You know.
Like, and then they don't even try to be your friend. They're just like, oh, you know? Yeah. That's true.
And I mean, it's not everyone, because there's some people that are really, really nice. And I did meet a bunch of really good people and really nice people, but the overall feeling that I felt was of, you're different.
Yeah.
And to me, that's something that I didn't like. And I try to teach my girls, like, it doesn't matter where they come from, who they are, what their beliefs are. You still need to respect that person no matter what. Right? So even if you have different political views, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that person is mean
or that person's
bad. Yeah.
So I just try to do that with them, because I don't want them to go through, or I don't want them to make someone else feel like
what you felt
exactly.
when you...
So I think that's something really important.
For
so
sure.
It's just little things. Like I remember getting in the bus. I think it was the first day or second day of school. Getting on the bus, and this guy said, "So, do you have a green card?" I was like, "I have no idea what that is." I think I didn't even reply because I didn't even know
what he was.
But I literally had no idea, because again, we come from Puerto Rico. Like I was 15, I had zero idea what that meant.
Yeah.
Eventually, when in my ESOL class, I started meeting people from other countries, and I told them, and they explained me, "Oh, that's this," and I'm like, "Oh my God!"
Like he really said that.
He really said that to me. Oh my goodness, I had no idea. But you could feel that isolation and that, you know, like.
But that's good that you're teaching your daughters that way, because maybe like his parents or her parents didn't teach them
that there are
morals.
People that are different. There are,
exactly. And that's why sometimes kids make those comments, I think sometimes, but you have to tell them that, you know,
not everyone is the same.
Yeah.
That's true. You have to teach them to respect, and regardless of what the person looks like or what the person sounds like, that is true. Even then, like, I feel like you as like a parent, I mean, I'm not a mom or anything, but I mean, if I am to ever be a mom, I would want to teach my kids that, like, regardless, if you see someone who needs help and if you're able to help, like, don't be embarrassed, just like, oh, like, that person's speaking Spanish, no one else, but I understand what's going on. Speak up for that person, you know?
Yeah.
So little things like that too, because I mean, when I was in school too, like I would see kids that would come in from different countries that didn't speak English. I was fluently bilingual at this point, and I would help them. I'd be like, oh, like, this is the cafeteria, this is the, and I would feel good about myself and know that I'm helping that person out. I remember in 5th grade, I had a friend named Raquel, and she came from Mexico and she didn't speak English, and I would help her. Yeah, but I felt good about it. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's how it should be.
Exactly.
Because one day somebody helped you.
Right.
Then
now I can help somebody, and maybe now she's helping somebody else. Like, you don't know.
That's
so,
right.
It's a chain. It goes along.
So I feel like the big lesson from this is that, you know, it doesn't matter where you come from, what you go through.
Yeah.
Yes, it might hurt. It might take some time and some work to get to where you want to be. But if you really, really are passionate about it, and, you know, you use your experiences as motivators and as, you know,
to guide you
exactly to where you want to be, you can really do anything. You know, like, it, I mean, like, your stories are like amazing to me. You know what I mean? And I feel like I didn't know that I was going to be able to go to college.
Right.
I had no idea. I'm like, if I don't speak English, how am I going to do it? I learned it, you know, with an accent, whatever, but I speak it.
Here I am.
And then I made it to college, and then I got my master's, and then I'm here leading an office. Like, I would have never thought that I could have done that. But it just took me working really hard every single day, not giving up, trusting in myself, having parents that were supportive.
Right.
You know,
Definitely.
That, you know, they were like, no, it doesn't matter. You need to study. No, you gotta, I got your back.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what they go through. They always have your backs. And that's why you were able to make it this far as well, right?
Definitely.
So is there anything else that you can think of that, you know, we're missing, or like we covered pretty much everything that about this topic?
I think we covered pretty much everything.
I think we did too. You know, we kind of pointed out the struggles, spoke a little bit about ourselves and our stories. And
So I think
you guys
it was
can
really
know
helpful.
a little bit about us.
To us at Urbina Law Firm, it's very important that our clients know us. Sometimes we don't get the chance to speak to everyone.
Right.
We do have, you know, we're very busy, thank God. But if you have any other questions or anything you want to know, please reach out. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and
comment below.
We'll be really, really happy to answer those questions. And I really appreciate it, and have a great day.
See you next time.